In our previous video, What's New in Pro Tools version 12.3, we covered in depth the new workflow enhancing features Commit and Track Bounce. These new features expanded upon the popular offline bounce workflows to make it easier than ever to free up resources and prep your sessions for collaboration, final mix, and delivery. Today we'll focus on the latest release, Pro Tools 12.4, adding Track Freeze, the much anticipated feature to further simplify and speed up these workflows. This video will show and compare Track Freeze with Commit and several ways to use these new features.
Using Commit, it's fast and easy to render out a track with part or all of its insert processing, render or copy the volume and/or pan automation, and copy over any aux or group assignments. You can also choose what to do with the original track once the process is done, like making it inactive and hiding it. The committed track can then be edited further as desired with tools like the trim or selector tools. Also with Commit, you can just render individual clips on the track. Track Freeze is an even simpler way to quickly render an entire track in place to free up resources. Like Commit and Track Bounce, you can initiate the process from the Tracks menu or by right-clicking on the track name state plate and choosing Freeze. You can also just click on the new small snowflake icon on the track from the Edit page.
Once the track is frozen, the waveform will appear on the track with an angled pattern overlay indicating it is frozen and cannot be edited.
Fades can also not be applied to the frozen clip. To unfreeze the track, you can select Unfreeze from the Track menu or right-click menu. This process even works from the Mix page. Or you can just click on the snowflake to unfreeze. The track is then reverted back to its original state and can be edited as normal. Like Commit, you can freeze a track up to and including a certain insert. Just right-click on the insert you want to freeze through and select Freeze up to this insert. The track will be rendered through that insert and any inserts after it will still be accessible. You can tell if an insert is frozen by the grayed out snowflake beside the plugin insert state plate. All the plugins after the frozen insert remain active and editable. To unfreeze the track, just use the Unfreeze command in the Track menu or right-click menu, or just click on the snowflake icon on the track.
Aux tracks can be frozen as well. You can freeze them with all the same commands you would as an audio track. Normally on an aux track, there isn't a waveform, but when you freeze it, you will see the frozen waveform with the angled pattern overlay, just like on an audio track. As with any frozen track, the clip cannot be edited, but you can change its level or pan. The same unfreeze commands can be used to revert the aux track to its original state.
Instrument tracks can also be frozen with the same commands that you use to freeze audio and aux tracks.
With frozen instrument tracks, the frozen clips will show both the frozen audio waveform as well as the MIDI notes in a semi-transparent state.
Once again, the frozen clip cannot be edited. Use the same unfreeze commands as before to return the instrument track to its original MIDI virtual instrument state. There's a deeper workflow option when working with multi-output virtual instruments in that you can easily freeze all of the outputs in one step. You can even choose to freeze the entire track's processing or just the virtual instrument outs, leaving the processing after the virtual instrument enabled for further manipulation. You can either freeze the entire instrument track with the virtual instrument instantiated, or right-click on the virtual instrument plugin and choose Freeze up to this insert. A dialog box will come up letting you know that the plugin you want to freeze has auxiliary output stems. You can choose to freeze all of the tracks that have active auxiliary outputs assigned or just the one track you've selected. We are going to select Yes and quickly freeze each of the outputs, kick, snare, hats, etc.
The main instrument track with the MIDI clips will have the frozen audio angled pattern waveform and MIDI notes together, and the other tracks will have just the frozen pattern waveforms.
This is a great feature allowing you to quickly free up resources and continue to work, and quickly switch back if needed.
As you can see, Track Freeze offers even more flexibility and options in Pro Tools 12. Between Freeze, Commit, and Track Bounce, You have a number of tools in your toolbox to fit any situation and workflow that arises. Freeze is great for quickly freeing up DSP resources on the fly to keep your creative process moving and jumping back to make a quick tweak if needed. Commit is a great way to free up those DSP resources, but also have the ability to edit and make changes to the newly created clip, with choices on what happens to the original track. And track bounce is typically used for making final output renders or stems of tracks for archival and workflows involving moving audio files to other software platforms. Whatever the workflow requires, Pro Tools 12 has you covered. Thanks for watching.